Someone is being questioned on camera. They touch their face. They look away. They pause for half a second too long. And somewhere online, a stranger freezes the video, draws a red circle around one eyebrow, and announces that the case is basically solved. Humans love the idea that liars reveal themselves through tiny physical mistakes. Unfortunately, we are remarkably bad at spotting lies, and many of the confident body language tricks we use are barely more scientific than checking whether the suspect has an unusually villainous mustache. In a major 2006 analysis, psychologists Charles Bond and Bella DiPaolo combined results from 206 documents involving more than 24,000 judges. On average, people correctly distinguished lies from truths about 54% of the time. Chance would be 50%. So the average human lie detector is essentially a coin with a small amount of professional development. Even more revealing, people correctly identified only 47% of lies, while recognizing 61% of truthful statements. We are not especially good at detecting deception. We are somewhat better at assuming people are honest and occasionally being right. This is called truth bias, or, in one broader theory, the truth default. Most of the time, we accept what other people tell us unless something gives us a strong reason not to. That sounds dangerously naive, but imagine the alternative. Every conversation would become a forensic investigation. Your coworker says the printer is broken. You demand security footage. Your partner says they bought milk. You inspect the receipt, interview the cashier, and send the carton to a laboratory. Human cooperation depends on information moving quickly. We share warnings, plans, gossip, instructions, and knowledge. If every statement required independent verification, a group of humans would struggle to organize lunch, never mind build a village. From an evolutionary perspective, it is reasonable to think that humans faced pressure both to notice cheaters and to cooperate efficiently. But that does not mean evolution gave us a magical twitch detector. Constant suspicion is expensive. Trusting ordinary communication usually works, and social life would become impossible without it. The trouble begins when we do become suspicious. Then we often look for the wrong things. Ask people how liars behave, and certain answers appear repeatedly. Liars avoid eye contact. They fidget. They touch their face. They shift in their seat. Their voice changes. They look nervous. These beliefs feel sensible because lying can produce anxiety. A liar may fear being caught, feel guilty, or work hard to keep a false story organized. That effort could affect speech or behavior. But there is a large problem. Being accused of lying also produces anxiety. An innocent person in a police interview may sweat because they are sitting in a police interview. An honest employee may stumble through an answer because the boss has suddenly asked whether they stole company money. A truthful teenager may look terrified because their parent has entered the room holding a broken lamp. Nervousness tells you that someone is nervous. The cause remains annoyingly unlabeled. Researchers sometimes call this kind of mistake the Othello error, after Shakespeare's character who treats Desdemona's distress as proof of guilt. Her fear looks suspicious because Othello has already decided what it means. Modern humans do this constantly. Once we suspect someone, every ordinary movement becomes evidence. Looking away means deception. Too much eye contact means overcompensation. Sitting still means unnatural control. Moving around means panic. At that point, the theory can explain everything, which is another way of saying it predicts nothing. Even the famous claim about looking in a particular direction does not hold up. One popular version says that looking one way signals a remembered image, while looking the other signals a constructed one. Experiments testing these eye movement patterns found no useful connection to lying. People look away while thinking for many reasons. They may be searching their memory, avoiding distraction, managing social pressure, or staring at a wall because the wall is currently less judgmental than you are. Single gestures fail because human behavior is noisy. Personality matters. Culture matters. The situation matters. Some people naturally avoid eye contact. Some maintain it intensely. Some gesture constantly. Others appear to have been trained by a committee of statues. Neurodivergence, trauma, fatigue, fear, social anxiety, and cultural expectations can all affect how someone behaves under pressure. A rule that treats discomfort as dishonesty will often punish people who merely look different from the observer's idea of innocence. Meanwhile, practiced liars may appear calm precisely because they expected the question. They can rehearse their story, control obvious signs of stress, and imitate what they believe an honest person should look like. Truth tellers usually do not rehearse because they did not know they were about to audition for the role of themselves. This creates a strange advantage. The liar may have a polished narrative. The honest person has a messy memory. Real memories are not video files. They are reconstructed. Details fade, shift, and return in a different order. A truthful person might correct themselves or remember something later. A liar with a memorized script might repeat the same sequence perfectly. So inconsistency is not an automatic confession, and consistency is not a certificate of honesty. Another problem is that we judge credibility using traits that have little to do with truth. Confident people seem more believable. Fluent speakers seem more certain. Attractive or socially comfortable people can receive an undeserved credibility bonus. Awkward people can look suspicious, while doing nothing more criminal than experiencing a conversation. A 2024 study found that people's confidence in lie detection was not connected to their actual performance. This is especially inconvenient because confidence is one of the main ways humans decide who should be trusted as an expert. The person saying, "I can always tell," may not possess unusual insight. They may simply possess the ability to say that sentence without blinking. So if body language is weak, what should we use instead? The disappointing answer is not one secret verbal cue. There is no word, pause, pronoun, or storytelling habit that works as a universal lie alarm. Research has found average differences between groups of liars and truth tellers, but those differences are often small and shaped by context. Lying can require extra mental work. A person may need to invent information, suppress the truth, monitor your reaction, and remember what they already claimed. Under some conditions, this can produce less detail, more hesitation, or other changes. But truth-telling can also be mentally difficult. Ask someone to describe a stressful event from 6 months ago while being stared at by 3 strangers, and the human memory system does not suddenly become a calm and orderly librarian. The more useful approach is to stop treating the person's body as a confession machine and start testing the account. Ask open questions. Let them explain in their own words. Check whether the story fits known facts, records, locations, messages, motives, and timelines. Where possible, compare claims with independent evidence. A contradiction with a receipt, timestamp, or reliable witness matters more than a nose scratch. A story that cannot fit the available facts matters more than crossed arms. Context can expose deception in a way that demeanor usually cannot. Strategic questioning can also help. If someone does not know what evidence you have, allowing them to give a full account before gradually introducing that evidence may reveal meaningful contradictions. The important clue is not that they touched their neck. It is that they claimed they never entered the building, and then their access card developed an independent opinion. This does not mean turning every relationship into an interrogation. In everyday life, aggressive suspicion can damage trust and create the very nervous behavior people then misread as guilt. If the stakes are low, it may be better to ask directly, notice patterns over time, and leave room for misunderstanding. If the stakes are high, rely less on intuition, not more. Use documentation, corroboration, careful interviews, and procedures designed to reduce bias. The deepest reason we are bad at spotting liars is that lies do not come with a unique physical signal. Deception happens inside a complicated social animal, whose face and body are also expressing fear, concentration, politeness, exhaustion, embarrassment, personality, and the sudden realization that they left the oven on. We want a simple code because uncertainty is uncomfortable. A gesture dictionary makes other people feel readable. It turns confusing human behavior into a neat set of subtitles. But humans are not that tidy. The best defense against deception is not learning to stare harder at someone's pupils. It is learning to separate feelings from evidence, confidence from accuracy, and nervousness from guilt. The body may tell you that something is happening. The facts are what tell you what.